Now, there is no doubt about it that with Love Meghan Season 1, and I say Season 1 because they are currently spinning the extra footage that they shot in combination with the upcoming footage to be shot by this June as a Season 2, when in reality it is nothing more than a Part 2, if you will, of the first season of With Love Meghan. But when you look at the overall ratings disaster, it continues to get worse over time, as well as all of the drama happening both behind the scenes, internally speaking, over at Netflix HQ, and in the public eye as Meghan Markle continues to go on that damage control train, and how she continues to ride that train into the ground essentially, because it's not working at all. It's only damaging the Netflix image. It is leading to more customers abandoning ship from their business model, from their streaming platform, and it's only going to get worse from there. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about With Love Meghan right now is that we already know that those out there like Meghan Markle, Mindy Kaling, everyone else that worked on the show, they are trying to desperately defend the series at all costs. They are blaming, of course, things like sexism, misogyny, bigotry as to why they are getting so many of these terrible reviews, and their ratings are really just not working for Netflix, when in reality it's just a very bad series. It's very inauthentic, it is fake, people see right through it, it sticks out like a sore thumb. But what's interesting about this has a lot more to do with what she plans to do for Season 2, for the extra footage that is to be shot by this June. We already talked about how they do plan to actually shoot multiple scenes for all upcoming episodes for Season 2 by the summer. Now, what's interesting here is that with the Meghan Markle ratings disaster already creating wider issues for the Netflix board and its CEO Greg Peters, one significant development that is now active involves more to do with Meghan Markle and what she is doing for Season 2 of With Love Meghan that will certainly create never-before-seen backlash levels for Netflix. It turns out that not only is Meghan Markle in deep talks with multiple politicians to come on her show for extra footage to be shot in June, but she is also inviting Gavin Newsom to take part in a full-on episode of the series to cook with her and to discuss the LA wildfires while they cook. Now get this, the aim by both Meghan Markle and the Netflix board, of course, that support her is to have at least around 10 to 15 minutes of Meghan Markle cooking with Gavin Newsom in episode 3, where they will then use B-roll footage of Meghan's time that she spent during the aftermath of the tragic LA fires. To make matters worse, the overall idea of this is that it all stems from Meghan Markle, and that this is what Meghan Markle is planning to do, that 60% of the Netflix board members are in support her, of course, for all of this, is that not only, of course, attempting to bring in politicians like Gavin Newsom, but also Markle is already in the process of inviting Kamala Harris, who lost the 2024 election just months ago, to come on her show as well for episode 5, for another episode to cook with her to discuss the importance of diversity while they cook, and to also allow Kamala to unveil new revelations about her emotions after how she felt when she lost the election against Donald Trump. Now, this is already something that Netflix CEO Greg Peters is fuming over and demanding and warning the board to not move ahead with these plans, since this will most certainly create more widespread backlash for the streaming platform as a whole. Now, the main reason why Meghan Markle is in pursuit of Kamala Harris to come on her show is that she views Kamala as an authentic cook, if you will, and a lover of food, and believes it would be the perfect opportunity to drag in both politics and a politician, quote-unquote, who supposedly has a passion for cooking. Kamala was also deeply criticized for her inauthentic behavior and style, especially when conversing about cooking recipes and her lifestyle in the household. This latest development stems from how Netflix wants to support and prop up potential candidates for the 2028 presidential election, to provide them a voice essentially, and to also expand their reach with different audiences out there that are in tune with politics. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this. Mixing politics and cooking is probably one of the worst ideas that you could really do, especially when you have Meghan Markle in the mix. It is a no pun intended, recipe for disaster. When you look at something like this, I can only imagine what it would look like on screen. I can only imagine what the test screenings are going to be like in the coming months before they drop this thing in the fall. And yes, by the way, in case you guys did not know, they do plan to drop Season 2 by the fall of this year. It's not going to be for 2026, so you're technically getting 2 seasons in 1 year. Again, like I say, they are spinning it to be a Season 2. In reality, it is nothing more than a Part 2 of Season 1. That is the best way, and I think the best definition that you should really use to describe what the actual quote-unquote Season 2 really is. But what really takes me, back even more, and what really mind-boggles me to a different level here is how who in their right mind would even think that this is a great idea, especially the Netflix board of directors, after what they witnessed with Season 1 being the overall disaster that it is, and how, they're not really getting any positive reviews, it's not gaining any traction, it's really going nowhere. In fact, it's only costing Netflix tons and tons of money, because now you have customers bailing on their platform, bailing on their overall streaming business model. It's not working at all. And the fact that they are pursuing Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris to come on their show, and how Meghan Markle is just so thrilled with excitement of doing that, it goes to show you how out of touch with reality they really are. Now let's move on. In conclusion, Kamala and her team have reportedly been informed about the invite to Meghan's show, in which they plan to shoot a scene in June in a rented house with Kamala Harris and Doug. So it's not just Kamala, they will also want Doug Emhoff on that show. The other 40% of the board of directors are actively trying to knock some sense into the other board members on how big of a mistake they are by making, of course, this decision, and they are demanding to hold an emergency meeting as soon as possible in regards to their business model, since they are actually losing so many subs, especially after both the release of With Love Meghan and their price increase that are steering away customers in droves. And that's an actual fact, by the way. The customers that are leaving Netflix, it's not just because of Meghan Markle, let's be very real about this, but it's also a lot to do with the price increase, right? The rate hikes that are going on with Netflix. And not just that, we already know that they're actually getting rid of some content on there that a lot of people enjoy and love and cherish, and you're getting less and less engaging material on Netflix nowadays in 2025. But again, like I've said so many times before, this is exactly when you know that Netflix is creatively bankrupt, and this is exactly why they are done with her after this Season 1.5, as I like to keep calling it. Once they actually approach that, there really is no continuation, there is no further need for Meghan Markle at that point, because we all know that once you get political, and once you mix cooking and politics and Meghan Markle in the mix, this trio of disaster, if you will, into the recipe of disaster, it's not going to work in the least for Netflix. I can almost guarantee you guys all of that. But again, this is a very interesting thing that they are pursuing this in light and despite the Netflix ratings disaster. I would like to hear what everyone has to say about everything to do with Meghan Markle and how they are now trying to get political with the next season. And if you guys really did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.